Yo, Wyatt begins in like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Wyatt, and I'm your host, Wyatt O'Brien Evans. Woof, goddammit, woof, woof, woof. Hey, my listeners. Today's Wyatt is an essential episode because we're drilling down on and taking a deep dive into how to get the man that's right for YOU. It's going to be a rather informative, insightful, engaging, and lively discussion with a nationally recognized relationship expert for gay and SGL, same gender loving men. This gentleman and I are going to get down, and I do mean all the way down, on how to form a nurturing, satisfying, and fulfilling relationship, and why and how some of us gay SGL men tend to sabotage the potential for something good. Our special guest will be pulling up to the mic post haste. Anyhow, after the show, visit my online home, WyattEvans.com. That's WyattEvans.com. The go-to destination for LGBTQ news, features, commentary, and entertainment. And y'all, WyattEvans.com is visited by over 100 countries on the regular. Yeah, baby. And at WyattEvans.com, you'll find my smoking hot, Nothing Can Tear Us Apart series of novels. And y'all, the current installment is titled Frenzy! Yes, Frenzy. And Frenzy is chock full of masculine romance, intrigue, danger, and the blazing heat of a million thousand suns of erotic passion and steamy nastiness. And hey, I'm hard at work, just burning the midnight oil, writing the next installment in the Nothing Can Tear Us Apart novel series. And this sequel is going to be, well, hotter than July. Hotter than, well, you get the idea. Oh. Before I forget, a program note. Remember the magnificent meltdown of my sometime sidekick, Madam Pussy Galore Cock-a-doodle-doo Drag Queen Supreme last week? Well, she won't be with us today. Madam is somewhere licking her wounds. Oh, well. All right, now let's get it done. My listeners. You want to find that guy who can curl your toes and set your mind, your body, and your soul on fire. You know, that guy who's going to be with you through thick and thin, and you'll do all the same for him. Well, our very special guest can help you with that. He's Mr. Lamont White, otherwise known as the Gay Dating Coach. Now, y'all, I'm going to sometimes call him the GDC. Well, Mr. White is the owner of betterwaytomeet.com. That's betterwaytomeet.com, which is a professional matchmaking, dating coaching, and couples counseling service for gay and SGL men in the U.S. And since 2014, Mr. White has matched hundreds of single guys and even helped a few of them get married. And he's nationally recognized as a relationship expert for gay men and helping them maintain healthy relationships. And my listeners, Mr. GDC is the host of the new show, Shoot Your Shot Wednesdays, where single guys answer insightful, funny, and spicy questions about being single. Now, let me tell you something. I like me some spicy and salaciousness too. Shoot Your Shot Wednesdays is live on Instagram. And this relationship pro resides in Atlanta with his husband and two nephews. So, anywho, without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Lamont White. Talk at me, my brother. How the hell are you?
Hey, Wyatt. Thank you for the amazing intro. I am doing just fine, and I'm happy to be on your show today.
Well, listen, Lamont, I've been following you like on Facebook. You have some really insightful videos about the dating process to make it even better for us fellas. And I really want to thank you rather for dropping by Wyatt.
Yes.
Okay, let me start with this, Lamont. In an interview with the Georgia Voice, you stated, and I quote, as gay men, we really didn't have role models or blueprint for dating men. We didn't have images of how two guys see each other. When I started this back in 2014, there was no one doing this for gay men specifically, end quote. So was that a large part of the impetus, the fire in the belly for you to become a gay dating coach or relationship expert?
You hit the nail right on the head, Wyatt. So, my background is in counseling. So, I've been doing therapy with gay couples for a very long time. And what I noticed is that, like, we really just didn't have a blueprint. So, a good friend and I got together and we said, why don't we help guys not only find love, but give them the skills that they need to be in a healthy relationship? So, teaching guys how to flirt, teaching guys how to argue, teaching guys how to treat each other has been my mission since 2014.
Wonderful. Let me just get to the heart of the matter. Okay. Lamont, why should someone specifically hire you? What are your specific qualifications? What separates you from the rest of the pack of dating relationship experts?
Yeah, so I do have a great, resume, but I will say, my genuine desire to see gay men thrive. I've also went through a matchmaking institute. It's a formally recognized institute. It's actually the same institute that Patty Stanger went through, the $1 Million Matchmaker.
Ah.
Yeah. So it's not like I woke up one day and said, "Hey, let me just go out there and become a matchmaker." No, there is science to this. There's like strategies that are proven to work. But why?
Okay.
What I noticed is that most of it applies to straight folks. So
Ah.
I've had to do my own research to say what really works for two gay men to be in a relationship, and I do a damn good job of scouring my network to specifically interview guys for my matches. So you tell me what you want in a guy, and I will interview the world just to make sure he's a good match for you.
I love it. You acquit yourself well. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's talk COVID a bit because the pandemic has certainly impacted and altered the dating arena, the landscape. So, can you tell us a little bit about that?
So yeah, COVID has really just changed the dating landscape, particularly for gay men. There have been some studies that show that probably like 20 to 30% of gay men kind of delayed meeting in person from like the dating apps and online dating. They talked more, they did video chatting a little bit more. They're asking screening questions like, "Hey, have you been to any large events? Are you vaccinated? Do you have a temperature?" So gay men have had to navigate health issues for many years. So we know how to really ask the questions and make sure that we're safe. But COVID really, Wyatt, has taught people that life is short. So
Yeah.
you invest in yourself, and COVID has taught us to find love. Like it is very meaningful. A lot of guys found themselves lonely last year, and it was like a light bulb that said, "Hey, let me prioritize myself and my love life." So guys are getting back out in the dating field, and I love it. Like I love hearing when guys are like, "Hey, Lamont, I wanted a date. I met this awesome guy. So I say COVID has really taught us to love ourselves.
Well, something positive has come out of that, which is really good.
Yes.
Wonderful. Now, my friend, let's travel back through the corridors of time so we can get a little window into your beginnings. Are you ready?
Sure.
Good. Awesome. So, where were you born and raised?
So I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Steelers, that's where I'm from.
Yeah, yeah. Someone told me that you are rather a triplet. Is that right?
I am. I have two other brothers that were born on the
Get
same day,
out.
came out the same womb. We all look like my dad. Yes. Their names are Lonnie and Lamar.
And where do you fall? Are you the youngest, the oldest, in
Oh,
the
of course
middle?
I'm the oldest, and I act like it, Wyatt. I'm definitely bossy, and I remind them that they're my younger brothers.
Oh my goodness. My goodness. Okay. Well, listen, that's what your response is a perfect segue to my next question. And I get a real chuckle out of it when I ask my guest. And here it is. What was Lamont like as a little boy, a little nipper? What what three characteristics, qualities best described you?
Hmm. I would definitely say energetic, intelligent, and passionate. Like why I thought I was going to be a preacher when I was growing up.
What really?
Yes, but God said, "No, I don't want you to preach. I want you to help people find love."
Uh, that's well, you know what? That's its own religion in itself, in a way. You know what I mean?
It's definitely its own path. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Good qualities to have. Let's jet forward to adulthood. Now, you earned an undergrad degree in psych, a grad degree in professional community counseling. So, Lamont, what led you down that path?
Well, I think why I've always wanted to help people and not just like, give them some groceries or some advice, but really helping people build the skills or have the skills that they need to be better persons. So counseling really gave me that opportunity to work with people one on one, work with in groups, but also to kind of
Mhm.
take that to the next level of like with a national platform of teaching gay men like how to be their whole selves. Like if why as gay men we were really taught to kind of compartmentalize who we are, like
Right, right.
our emotions, our feelings were all separate. And that really is not a great way to live. So counseling gave me the skills just to kind of help us to be entire individuals.
Well, as I have told people as I told the audience and on the show and in my writings as a journalist, I am a proponent of counseling. Sometimes it takes, you several counselors to get to the right one,
Mm-hmm.
but it is so important to sit your ass down on a couch or talk to a professional because there should be no stigma attached to it. You just need to sometimes get a deeper understanding of what's going on within you.
Right. And I will say, as same gender loving men, like we have been taught some horrible stuff about ourselves from like
Yeah.
society, from church, from our communities. So it is okay to, go see someone to unlearn that crap. So I think what I have found is that guys find it sexy and attractive when they found out, a guy has been through therapy. It is like, oh, you've actually done the work on yourself. That is amazing, because you realize there's something going on and you're learning new skills. And it makes a guy feel more secure with you that you're going to be emotionally available if you've done some type of counseling or coaching.
That's an excellent point. Okay, Lamont, let's get down to the nitty gritty of the world of dating and relationships. First, there are two dating processes, one for company and the other one for LUV love. So please elaborate for our listeners.
What you said, there's two different dating processes. What are you tell me what you're talking about?
Meaning that there's dating for, company, like for buddies, you're just going out doing stuff together. And I think there's a process for love, for romantic, intimate love. Or maybe I'm mistaken about that.
So I do think some people, if you're talking about like reasons why people choose to date, if they're like looking for love or just to kind of meet people, I think it depends on what phase you're in. Sometimes guys are still trying to figure out who they are, what they like, what they don't like. They may travel for work, so they're really not what I would say really dateable right now because and that's okay. They're kind of figuring things out. So they're more looking to casually date. So they will date multiple people. They will try not to make any commitments because they're still trying to figure out what dating looks like, particularly for some gay men who have come out of the closet later in life. Take the time to date and figure out what works well for you. Have some bad breakups, have some good breakups, but experience it. But then there are other guys who are like, nope, I know what I want. I know who I am. I've been in some long-term relationships, so they know what really works for them. So their dating process looks totally different. They are gonna probably have a series of questions that they're gonna ask guys, so that then they'll start to open up. But there are some guys who are like they know what they want.
Right. Okay. Okay. What do you believe men really want in a potential partner?
So for same gender loving men, like there are a couple things that we look for. One is we look for guys to be attractive, whatever that means for you, right? We look for guys to be independent, like self-sufficient. We don't want to take care of another guy. We want to make sure that he can pay his own bills and that he can stand on his own 2 feet. Also, gay men, we look for some level of masculinity, right? We want a guy who's, there are some guys who like feminine guys, but the majority of gay men want some guy with a little bit of masculinity and some confidence. And then also, sexual compatibility is really key for gay men. When we lay down, we like to know that the puzzle pieces fit all in the right places.
Okay. Let me push back a little bit though on the independence piece, because what about the daddy phenomenon where you have men who are looking for other men, gay men looking for other men, older in particular, to take care of them, to be, I don't know, somewhat submissive towards them in all aspects of their lives.
So there are definitely relationships that work well for those, for that. And so I'm giving you input on what like the majority of gay men want. There are exceptions, of course, because nothing is, 100%. When you do look at those types of relationships, those are typically very transactional, where it's age and beauty, and so the younger guy is getting the benefit of an older guy who can, financially take care of him, and then the older guy is getting the benefit of a younger, attractive guy who he can teach. So those relationships work well when they both are on the same page about what it is, but also what makes those relationships last longer than just that initial, thrill is that they allow each other to evolve, and they continue to check in on each other and communicate about their needs. And your partner is going to be different in 10 years, right?
Right.
So you have to stay in tune with him as he grows, as you grow, so that you're both growing together and not in totally two different directions.
Excellent. Okay, thank you for that. What are some great ways for single gay SGL men to meet a great partner?
So listen, so you may disagree with me, and many people do, but I'll say it anyway. I think online dating is the way to go, right?
Ugh.
So I know you're gonna say, right?
I don't totally agree, but please continue. You're the expert, my man. Go ahead.
Here's why: because we're doing it all wrong. That is the reason why it doesn't work is because we're doing it wrong. On those online, even the dating apps, you have to, and listen, I pay people, they pay me to tell them this, okay? But I'm telling you today, You have to complete the profile out completely. You have to put pictures of yourself that are current, that are not blurry, that are not a chest picture, that are not an ass picture. Like, you have to market yourself as a whole person. If I look at your profile, I should know what I'm getting into. I should know what your life looks like. I should know where I fit in the picture. Okay. So guys have to be positively framing what they actually say, what they want on those online apps. And then if they do that, Wyatt, they do it, they will get a different response. If you are only posting nude pictures, you have a blank profile, you're lying about certain things, then yeah, that's what you're going to get on those dating sites. But I think if we change how we use those, there are absolutely amazing ways to connect, particularly if you live in a small town, right? Because there
Okay.
are no gay bars, there are no places to go. And so here's the one pushback that guys give me when they say, oh, I live in a small town and I don't want to put my face picture out there. Right. Right. So I hear it. I've been doing this for a while. But here's the thing. What is wrong with the world knowing that you're single and you're looking for love?
Right.
There's nothing taboo about that. There's nothing shameful to say I'm single and I'm looking for love. The issue that comes up when I hear like small town places is because it's the homophobia. They don't want to disclose that they're gay, and rightfully so. They might not be able to get a job. So I'm always an advocate of save your money, sell your TV, move to a city that is going to be more affirming for you.
Okay, you've given me a better appreciation, and I appreciate that. Okay.
Look, you're like grinding teeth.
No. You make some really good points. So yeah, I have a different appreciation of it now, a better appreciation actually. Okay, I'm going to try to anyway, a dating scenario for you and ask you some questions.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. We have Wes Antonio. Sidebar, just between you and me, they're the lead characters of my Nothing Can Tear Us Apart series of novels. Now, we'll just keep that between us, all right?
Okay.
Cool. Okay. So we got Wes Antonio. Now, Wes Antonio have communicated a little bit, via phone and text, did FaceTime for a little bit, and they finally meet for that fateful first date. And it all goes swimmingly well. Both men are even more attracted to one another. They're excited to build on their connection. So here's my first question, Lamont. How do Wes Antonio move on to the next stage? Because sometimes on a date, one or both men are trepidatious about initiating that next step or stage.
Mm-hmm. I hear it all the time. And this is the part where relationships don't form. Is
right.
Because both of the guys are waiting for the other person to make the next move.
Yes.
And I'm like, I want to put my hand around both their necks and like choke them. Right?
Yes.
So here's what I say do.
Okay.
Pick the phone up the next day and give the guy a call. Don't send a text message. Don't send an email. Don't go like something on Instagram, which I hear people like, oh, I like this picture the next day. No. Call him. Say, hey, I just wanted to hear your voice. Let you know I had a great date. What did you think about the date? And be like, hey, I know it's a random call, but we can talk another time. And then also schedule the next date. It is okay, and you might not agree with me, which is okay. It is okay for you to make the second, the third, and the fourth move in a relationship. If the guy is still responding and showing up for the dates and being responsive, and you both are getting what you want, keep making those moves. If after, you've made the eighth or ninth move, and you're like, I want him to plan a date, or I want him to do something. Here's what you do. You say, hey, bruh, I really enjoy your company and seeing you. I even enjoy planning dates with you. Here's what I would like for you to do. I would like for you to plan a date for us. You see how I said that? I didn't shame him. I wasn't rude. I told him I like hanging out with him. I want him to plan the next date. It's communication, Wyatt.
Look, hold it. First of all, I'm in total agreement with you here because effective, open, honest, clear communication is very, very important to me. I mean, because I've been in situations in my life where that didn't happen, but I need it. I
Mm-hmm.
need that, like, I need it like the air I breathe, like the water I drink,
Mm-hmm.
because I am not Karnak. The other person isn't Karnak. They cannot read your mind. So I totally, I get you.
Spot on. Spot on. Yes. Yes.
Oh my,
Yeah.
spot on, Mr. White, spot on.
Wyatt, guys will send a text message. They'll wait for the guy to respond.
Mm,
They'll go like something on his Facebook page instead of picking the phone up and calling him. Like,
right,
communicate your needs. If you like him, tell him you like him. If something weird happened on the date, be like, hey, there was a moment at the date where, you might have been rude to the waiter. What was that about? Like,
right.
talk about things.
And my listen is not a text, not a
Not a
text,
text, not a text.
a phone call. Because you know what? I try not to text with intimate stuff because, as you well know, with text, there are no nuances. Really, there are nuances. And people might assume something that isn't there. But
Mm-hmm.
with a telephone call, you can feel body language. You can hear it. You can pick up on the nuances. There's a clearer thing there.
Wyatt, 100%. And this is a new person to you. You don't know
Yes,
him. You
you don't
don't.
know him.
So a text is not going to communicate his desire, his frustration, anything. It's all like it can go left, and it
Right.
usually does.
And real fast. Okay. Okay, let's move on with Wes Antonio. They have navigated this successfully. The next few weeks have been electrifying, but Tonio is HIV positive. He's undetectable, and everybody should know that undetectable means that if safer sex practices are adhered to, transmission of the virus, HIV, is virtually zero. Okay, so Tonio is HIV positive. He's undetectable. Wes is negative. When should that discussion have happened?
Right. So listen, if you are over the age of 30 and you are having sex with other men and you're a gay man, the likelihood that you're going to encounter somebody who's living with HIV is pretty high. So it
Right.
is our responsibility to educate ourselves on ways that HIV can be transmitted, prevention, strategies that have been proven to work. Like I say it's an individual's responsibility to be aware of that, hands down. So here's the thing: a guy who's living with HIV does not owe you that information on a first or second date. He doesn't. It's
Okay.
personal information. Like, you can't
Mm,
expect a stranger to share intimate health information with you on a first date. Here's
right,
what you got to do. If you want someone to feel comfortable about sharing their information, you set the environment. You set a non judgmental tone, conversation where that person will feel comfortable or safe enough to share that information with you.
right,
Yeah, but also, I do think that conversation should occur when both the parties are feel secure and comfortable with having that level of a conversation. There are some
mm,
people who like, hey, I could share that on a first date just to get it out the way. Others are like, no, I'm gonna wait until like I feel like there's a connection before I share that information.
right, right. Okay. Thank you for that. Okay, so Tonio and Wes have navigated all that. They're in a good place. But then suddenly, their first major difference of opinion, their first major argument occurs. What techniques, strategies, Lamont, do they employ to make it through the storm to keep their bond intact?
Great question, because particularly my guys over 40, and I'm in that ballpark as well.
Me too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Once an argument or a misunderstanding occurs, we're done. Like,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, you know what? It's like I don't have much more time to waste here now. Come on. The clock is freaking ticking here.
you're right. Like, and I'm like, listen, it's not if an argument is gonna occur or a misunderstanding, it's when. It's a
Right.
new person. You all come from different walks of life. You're different. So a misunderstanding or an argument is going to occur. It's about learning from that misunderstanding and argument, communicating about what was said, what was done, and how do you move on from it. Like in relationships, you are going to have disagreements, arguments. You're going to piss the other person off with something you did, but it happens. Like,
Yeah, no. Just
it's
laughing.
about like, hey, I'm here for this though. I'm here for this relationship, right? I'm
Right,
committed
right,
to you. Like, and if you see the value in a person to get
right.
over some stuff, then you need to look for that. Like, if you keep running from a disagreement or, an argument, you're gonna stay single. You're gonna stay single. I'll say it again. You're gonna stay single if you're running from arguments, okay?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay. Now, back to Wes Antonio. Okay. Now, they work through that. Everything is cool. However, Wes's family and friends can be intrusive. And Wes tends to especially involve his friends in the inner workings and the goings on of the relationship. So my question is this: how much of that is too much, and how can it negatively impact the union?
So it's West, right?
Yeah, Wes has got the tight family and
Mm,
friends, and
hmm
he talks probably too much about the relationship, about that argument, for example, with his friends, for example.
So West, I would say stop it. Absolutely stop it. So here's the thing: if you and your boyfriend, your partner, get in an argument, you should not be sharing, every argument with your friends and your family members. Here's the
Okay.
issue: Wes is going to move on. He's going to forgive his partner and move on and enjoy. But his mother, his friend, his best friend, they're going to still hold that grudge against him because they haven't gotten over it. I think
Mhm.
you keep your family, your friends out of your relationship. You can find like maybe one or two people that you might need to vent to kind of get things off your chest, but keeping everybody in your business and
Yeah.
people are going to disagree with me, but oh well. Valuing the opinion of your friends on your relationship, like if you care what your friends think about your relationship, you're always
Hmm.
going to fail. Your relationship should be between you and your partner, and
Uh,
that's who should value it.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm in total agreement there because I've seen it happen so much where that has happened and the relationship has torpedoed.
Yeah, yeah. If your friends don't like your boyfriend, that's okay. You don't accept or you don't subscribe to their beliefs.
Right.
If your boyfriend is healthy, he's good for you, he's loving, respectful, who cares if they don't like what he does for a living or anything about him? It could be petty, but no, you value your relationship as long as it's healthy. Now,
Right.
if he's beating you, stealing your money,
Right.
then
Right.
those are red flags, of course, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I was going to point that out as well.
yeah.
Okay. Now, Wes is African American. Tonio is Puerto Rican. However, I'm going to make him white for this purpose. So let's say Wes is African American. Tonio is white. Therefore, both men are dating outside their race, ethnicity. So, what particular suggestions do you have for them to thrive as a couple?
Right. So I would say communication is always key. because in those relationships, there are going to be people who are not supportive of your relationship, and there are going to be times where you're in particular environments where people are staring at you, they have crazy comments. The two of you have to communicate about those and support each other. I would also say guys who are dating interracially, great, love it.
Mm.
Make sure you are a part of both of those cultures. So if you want to date
Ah.
outside of your race, make sure
Mm.
you're a part of the white community. Make sure you're
Right.
part of the Latino community. Not just gone. Listen, going to the the gay bar, the black gay bar does not mean you're part of the community. Okay, my eyebrows are raised. Okay,
I
that
hear you. Yes,
that
yes.
does not mean you're part of the community. Like if you volunteer at certain places, if you live in certain neighborhoods, if
Mm.
you like frequent places where it's of the opposite race, if you donate to different causes, then you're a part of the community. Other than that, you could appear to be just trying a flavor of the week. And people don't
Got
like to
it.
be treated as flavors.
Right, right. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to touch on men being emotionally avoidant, emotionally closed off. What about that? I mean, how do they stop that?
So it's really something that we were taught as children. Like if you listen to a baby, like did it cry when the mother left the room, or
Mm-hmm.
did it you know did it not even bother the child when the mother left the room, right? Because some people can self-soothe. So it really is trying to figure out your how you connect emotionally with guys. Like there are some people who desire and need um to be in a relationship. Others are like, no, I could, be by myself. It's really once you get into the relationship, figuring out how you can be your whole self. And when I say being your
Mm.
whole self, I mean sharing what's on your mind, sharing secrets, having
Uh,
intimate conversations, sharing your
mm.
fears, sharing your hopes. Those are ways that you are going to be emotionally connected with your guy. If you are treating your guy just like he is, people say, "Oh, he's my lover." Well, is he your friend? Like you have to treat the relationship as a whole. So making
Hmm.
sure that you're talking about everything.
Okay. Makes a hell of a lot of sense. Um, Lamont, would you define for our audience love language and love currency?
So love language is definitely how you express love, like how you feel like you should love your partner. Like some people do that through words of affirmation. Some do that through physical touch. Some are quality time. Some are acts of service, and some are giving gifts. So for a guy to feel love, you may need to spend time with him, like
Mm-hmm.
in his presence. You can give him his gifts all you want. That is not going to make him feel appreciated. He's like, no, I want your time. Okay. Or a
Right.
guy could be gift giving. Like you can be around him a lot, but he's like, if you don't buy me something as little as, like a cupcake or like something, like you have to come with a gift for him to feel like you love him.
Oh.
And that's just how people love. So it's really important when you're starting to date someone is to find out what their love language is so that you can
Mm.
be more accommodating.
That's beautifully put. Thank you so much for that.
Oh no, you're welcome.
Wow, this has been so insightful. Thank you for that. Now let's jump into your new show. It's called Shoot Your Shot Wednesdays, and it's on Instagram Live. Tell us all about that. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, Wyatt. So I tell people it is hilarious. It's entertainment, and it's for entertainment. Okay, but guys have actually been finding love on that show, and
Wow.
what I do each Wednesday night, probably since February,
Mm-hmm.
every Wednesday night, I will invite single guys to come on Instagram live with me. And I really ask them some funny, insightful, and spicy questions. You got to keep it spicy.
Yeah.
And it gets spicy. You have to watch a video.
Yeah.
But like, I invite single guys to flirt with them, slide in their DM on Instagram, and ask them out on a date.
Wow.
Yeah, and and so listen, you have to watch it live because I have a co-host. The co-host
Okay.
is the comment section. Okay, the comment section, Lord, today, like, it's off the chain. So like, it's one thing to watch it the next day. You'll miss all the comments. You got to watch it live because they're hilarious. They keep it entertaining and a little shady.
Mhm. Well, you know what? Sometimes a little shady is good.
Yes.
But that's neither here nor there. Okay. Lamont, before we close out, can you give us some tips for couples to maintain healthy relationships?
Definitely. So I will tell in any couples out there, you got to be committed. When I say commitment, I mean you are committed for the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Relationships are not always easy. They're work and there's effort. And any married couples or anybody who's been in a long-term relationship, they understand that. So you got to be committed and be in it for a long haul. One thing I talked about earlier is that you have to allow your partner to evolve and be so in tune with him that you can see the evolution occurring in your face because you are asking questions. You both are experiencing life, successes, failures. You're experiencing them together, right? So that you both evolve together. Couples sometimes forget that you're allowed to evolve, you're allowed to change. And if you are not aware of those changes, that's when you fall out of love because you're no longer focused on your partner. I will say, finally, couples, you have to learn to put yourself first. Put yourself first. When I got married, in my vows, I told my husband, I promised to put me first and to take care of me so that I can be a great husband. If I'm not mentally, physically, financially, and spiritually grounded, not perfect, but grounded and working on myself, how can I expect to pour into him or into our family? So it's okay to make yourself a priority.
Well said. Well said. Well, what do you have on tap for the rest of 2021 projects you want to talk about?
So I'm planning September 1st. I think this is my first announcement. So Wyatt, you were privy to this. I'm going to be doing a in-person Shoot Your Shot Wednesday in Atlanta on September the 1st. It'll be a kickoff event for Black Gay Pride in Atlanta. So
great.
Yes.
Yeah. That is hot. Very, very good. Okay. My man. Okay. Well, how do us grown folk contact you, connect with you? Please give us all of your social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that stuff.
Sure. So Wyatt, I work with guys all over the United States and of any race and ethnicity. And I think I have to say that because people, they see a brown face, a black face. Yeah. My name is Lamont, and they only think I work, with black folks. But it's funny because the majority of my dating coaching clients are white gay men, and most of them live overseas. So
get out.
Yes.
What countries mostly?
London and Paris.
Wow, that is fascinating.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So I have to put that out there. But you can check out my my website. It's betterwaytomeet.com. I have all like my events that I have coming up and the different packages that I offer because I do matchmaking, dating coaching, and couples counseling. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, Mr. Lamont White, thank you so much for dropping by. Wyatt, I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me as a guest.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So there you have it. You can find the official Wyatt podcast page on WyattEvans.com. The official hashtag is Wyatt on Air. If you want to be a guest on Wyatt, or you just have comments, email me at wyattonair@gmail.com. And you can follow me, Wyatt O'Brien Evans, your host, on Facebook.com/Wyatt O'Brien Evans, on Twitter at Mr. Woe, MISTERWOE, on Instagram at Mr. Wyatt O, MRWYATTO. And be sure to check out my Nothing Can Tear Us Apart novels, the latest being Frenzy and its predecessor, Rage, all at WyattEvans.com. So until next time, woof, goddammit, woof, woof, woof! Arr!